नमस्सर्वेभ्यः पुनरपि स्वागतम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमः सर्वेभ्यः. It is such an auspicious occasion that we are all coming together once again to think and contemplate on the concepts from Bhagavad-gita. It is yet another occasion that Navaratra, Sharan Navaratra is being celebrated in our country. Happy Navaratri to all of you. Happy Dasara to all of you in advance. For some people, it is just yet another celebration in the form of festival. But for the followers of Sanatana Dharma, it is probably one of the most important and unavoidable spiritual journey we take up as part of Navaratri. Navaratram, the 9 prequel days of Dashami, that where Mahishasura is killed and all the Shumbha and Nishubha and many such demons, evil forces have been eradicated. Though sometimes these ideas of demons and Rakshasas may be imaginary for someone who is agnostic or an atheist. To some people, it is also a symbolic presentation of internal psychological evil forces exist within us in the form of negative personality traits, but only when it is expressed through rituals and acharanam and parva that can come into existence as a removal of all the negative forces within us. And also, Navaratram is actually a festival where the prakrititva or maya that exists within us is being worshipped, and also prakriti and purusha that exists in the philosophy of Sankhya. It is more about bringing out the matritva, that prakrititva within us, and worshipping as its all constructive faculties that can support us and the entire universe. So this being the 5th day of Navaratram, I pray and prostrate before Ma Durga to bless all of us with her might, intelligence and emotions, and love, compassion on all of us for samasta loka sukha. With this, I would like to say some concluding words about the 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. In the 21st shloka, He says, yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhaya architumicchati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyam. Anyone who worships me in any form one likes, I would bless all of them with the way that they are worshipping. Tasya tasya achalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyam. With whatever intention and prayojana that they are worshipping me, they would obviously get all those benefits. And of four types, jnani, artaha, jignasu and artharthi, jnani alone stands out. Rest of them have one or the other benefits to get while worshipping Bhagavan, either in the form of Vishnu or Lakshmi or Saraswati or Durga or Brahma or Shiva. All these are different forms. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita. And now in Navaratram we are worshipping the same single entity that is Satchid Ananda and Atma Swarupa in the form of Mahakali, Mahalakshmi and Mahasaraswati. So this is also one of the forms. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha. Tanu is the form. Tanu is the manifested murti that we can consider. So any murti that you select, any murti or any form, humanized form of Devata that also is equal to its original Nirakara also. As we have discussed earlier, Brahma in our culture is of two types. One is Saguna Brahma and the second one is Nirguna Brahma. All these are different forms of Saguna Brahma, and any Devata worship is as equal as Nirguna Brahma worship also. But there are issues at the initial stages. There is a loop within which we will get into the Kama and its Kama Bhoga. All the desires and experience of all the desires in the form of pleasures will get us into the loop of vicious circle called samsara. Therefore, Atmajnanis generally suggest us to do Nirakara and Nirguna Brahma only when one is eligible and qualified. In order to become qualified, the Saguna Brahma Upasana is compulsory, and we all require one or the other way of worshipping different Devatas, which are manifestations of one entity called Brahma. So, yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhayarchitumichhati tasya tasya achalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyaham. And then sataya shraddhaya yuktaha tasya aradhanam ihate labhate cha tatah kaman maya eva vihitan hitan. It is so surprising that Bhagavan Krishna says, you worship any Devata, it doesn't matter, but I am the one who in all their forms blessing all the bhaktas. The way we have one shloka, Akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaraha keshavam pratigacchati. The so symbolic and so best analogy we can consider. Akashat patitam toyam, the water droplets fallen from the skies ultimately reach through all the streams and through the nadas and nadis and rivers and streams, finally only the ocean. Similarly, all the worships of any form of Devata, their prayers will go to Keshava only, and he only has to bless. Labhate cha tatah kaman mayaiva vihitan hitan. I am the one to bless all of them. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatyalpamedhasam devan deva bhajo yanti madbhakta yahanti maam api. So here is a question. Actually, it is very, very logical. If Nirguna Brahma Upasana is what is ultimate, why Bhagavan is not suggesting everyone to do only Nirguna Upasana? He says, Antavattu phalam tesham. Human beings are divided under various different types of categories and hierarchies. Of them, Kama, Sakama and Nishkama, these are the two types of human beings. One who has desires to achieve, to gain, to acquire, to enjoy, to be pleasurable, to serve, all these are some category of desires. You cannot compel anyone to not to have any desire. So naturally we will all have desires, and we go to our Devatas as either Artha or Jignasu or Artharthi. So having all those desires, if I want power and mental strength, I will go to Hanuman and I will worship Ganapati also, even Velan also in some cases, and most probably Narasimha. So he stands as a not symbolic but as a representative and a true manifestation of power and might. Therefore, for me right now is the requirement that I need to gain more and more power to manage my daily activities. Therefore, I need power as the goal for a shorter period of time. Therefore, I worship Hanuman and Narasimha and Velan and many other Devatas. There is nothing wrong about it, and we have to do, because time and place wait for none. Time and tide is what is an idiom. Time and tide do not wait for anyone. So if that is the case, according to us, each and every time and moment, Vartamana Kala, is passed by 1 minute and day, and the Pakshas and Masas and Rutus and Ayanas and Samvatsaras, and this cycle continues to be. So time period, shorter goals and long-term goals, in order to achieve, we will have desire and we worship. That is the way that Sanatana Dharma works. So, Devan Deva Bhajo Yanti, Mad Bhaktaha Yanti Mamapi. All the different bhaktas of different Devatas worship their respective and respected Devatas. But only so-called Jnani that he mentioned in the previous shlokas worships Bhagavan Vasudeva. And avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayaha parambhavamajanantaha mama avyayam anuttamam. There is a state and level of me having no guna, that is what is nirguna. Avyayam avyaktam vyaktimapannam. I am avyakta. It is not always manifested. But mudhaha think, the ignorant people think that I am always in the form of only manifested in the form of Krishna, Rama and all the other Devatas. Parambhava majanantaha mama avyayam anuttamam. Anuttama, that is the true nature of Bhagavan. Naham prakashas sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha mudhoyam nabhijanati lokaha mam ajam avyayam. So only mudhas will not be able to perceive and understand and comprehend the true nature of Vasudeva. And then Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda nakaschana. He is desperate about putting out the words that nobody is able to understand. Nobody means all the bhaktas and jnanis, apart from them, common people are unable to understand bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu veda nakaschana. I know past, present and future, but mudhaha, and nobody has tried understanding me in my true sense. And ichha dvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmuktaha bhajante mam dridhavrataha, with all the commitment, only bhaktas. And in Vaishnava Parampara, it is, I really admire how the intensity, even Shaivas also, they have different ways. Vaishnavas have different ways, Ganapatyas have different ways, and Shaktas have different ways, and Sauras have different ways of worshipping Devatas. So, Jaramarana Mokshaya Mam Ashritya Yatanti Ye Te Brahma Tadviduhu Kritsnam Adhyatmam Karma Cha Akhilam. So, with this, rest of the shlokas, only one is remaining, one shloka is remaining, which will connect to the next chapter, that is 8th, Ashtamaha Adhyayah. We will